Can you chat?
Always.
Guess who's back again. We are back. Tell a friend.
Oh, yeah. That's the next line. Howdy.
Hello.
We're back. That was longer than we intended.
Yeah.
But
We didn't give our fans here a proper
goodbye.
goodbye.
Or see you later.
It was like a small little summer break. We recorded through the whole summer.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like busy traveling internationally.
Not us. Hustle.
To the
Hustle.
Hamptons. And we were here week after week.
Hustle. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could have done a third week.
Of break?
Yeah.
Did we only do 2 weeks?
We only did a 2-week break, I think. Or did we do 3?
It was 3.
Oh, okay. Our apologies.
So you feel like we could have done a 4th?
I could have done a 4th.
Ah.
I love breaks.
But not you guys, because let me tell you the number
we got
of...
so many messages from people.
When are you coming back? When will you be back? We're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that you even gave a shit. But
no one, we didn't know. We appreciate the support.
Thank you for the support.
We would appreciate it in the way of like follow, sending to a friend.
Should we start a GoFundMe? Do you want us to record more?
Oh my God, that's a good idea.
I don't think that's what it's for.
It's definitely not. It's definitely for like medical issues.
And saving dogs.
Yes. Speaking of saving dogs,
Why don't you go ahead and talk about it?
we saved a dog.
Not we.
No, my husband and I.
Yeah, but we're here together.
Oh, so sorry. Tyler and I adopted.
But actually me, I saved the dog.
Well, we all saved a dog. Okay, so a little over a week ago, Tyler and I have been contemplating getting another dog. Basically for our dog. We wanted to get Ruby a dog because she loves dogs. She loves playing with them. And I have never rescued. I'm embarrassed to admit. And Tyler was like, if we get another
You're
dog.
embarrassed to admit that?
I like my whole life I've had dogs. I've only gotten them from breeders.
I think that's probably...
I know, but
more
there's so much
common.
shame around it. Like there's so many stigmas. Like, why aren't you adopting?
Well, I don't think you need to be embarrassed to admit you've had amazing family dogs and
Incredible.
they just happen to have been from
Okay.
breeders.
Thank you. Yes, you're right. I
Let's take away the stigma around getting a dog at a breeder because
Okay.
that's just what people do, and dog breeders need to place dogs as well.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't feel guilty. So over a week ago, you sent us a post of a little peanut who had been abandoned in Oklahoma. She maybe was thrown out a window. They can't really tell. Obviously, she can't tell us. She had some pretty significant leg injuries. She had a herniated bladder.
As like a little puppy.
As a
this all
little
happened.
baby puppy, but she was on the mend and she had been placed at a foster home. And so I will admit at first I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm scared to get another dog.
And just a little background here is that I have been sending Jana dogs.
Harassing me with dogs.
Just like I'll randomly look because I too have only gotten dogs from breeders, but I've always wanted to rescue. But it's like the hoops you have to jump through to rescue are literally insane. The fact that you even got hers is crazy.
It's meant to be.
I really have wanted to adopt a senior dog because there's a lot of older dogs who
You'd love.
and like it's even sadder I think when they're older because they've usually lived with a family for a long time and the owner dies, or like some, Satan like family has had the dog for 7 years and then moves surrenders it, which is sick.
Fucked up.
And so those dogs then go to live in a shelter and that makes me want to die. And so I feed that feeling of wanting to die by continuing to look online at senior dogs that need adoption.
And then sharing that feeling with me by sending them to me and always saying, are you my mom?
By sending them to someone who is in the market. I already have 2 dogs. You had 1.
Okay, but first of all, I didn't want a senior dog selfishly because I couldn't love something that much and know that the end was so near. I'm not built for that.
It's not necessarily near. You have a few years and you could give them the best years of their life.
I'm not built for that.
Okay.
So anyways, you had been sending me dogs for quite some time. So a little over a week ago, you sent me this posting and I was like, oh, I don't know. But then I was like, wait, I should ask Tyler. Like, it's not only my decision.
Well, first of all, you do want a dog that doesn't shed.
non-shedding, ideally small.
Smaller because you have a smaller dog already.
Yeah.
A dog that gets along with other dogs. Like, some of these things are not that easy to find in a rescue. When you get a puppy, then they're just like, okay, I guess I get along with other dogs. Yeah. But this dog in particular was very cute.
Extremely
not
cute.
that, you know, looks matter.
They
but
don't. What's on the inside is what matters. But these
cute. Looks did matter.
She's cute on the inside and the outside.
Because she's black.
Yeah,
she has like
she's
little
a toy poodle.
Yeah, and she has cute little eyes.
The cutest. And so we applied because Tyler was like, yeah, like, why the hell not? And I was like, yeah, why the hell not?
No, well, first she was like, no, thank you. Do not send me any more pics. And I was like, don't you want to know her story or anything? She's really cute and sweet, and she's here right by us. Like,
she was really close.
It's not like you have to be driving 2 hours to get her. She's being fostered at a home like 10 minutes from here. And you were like, no, not interested. And I was like, okay. And then I sent a few more pictures and a little bio about her that said, like, she got here from Oklahoma because the shelters were full there, and she had to have a few different surgeries because her back right leg had been injured, like basically shattered. So her back right leg is like a lot smaller than the other ones, and it's so cute.
It didn't get muscle mass. So after you sent me a couple more, I was like, it's not just my decision. So I showed it to Tyler, and he was like, why the hell not? And I was like, okay, you're 100% right. Let's apply. So we applied that night,
which is like pretty much, I just want to reiterate, you need to take that into consideration when making other decisions. Like, your gut feeling about something, you know the saying, go with your gut, don't go with your gut. Your gut's wrong.
My gut's right a lot of the time.
It really is. I'm not going to do that. The answer is you probably should do that.
No, I just need a processing moment. Like, I need to think I'm not going to do something, process it, and then do it. Is really how I operate. Okay. But I was like, it's selfish of me to decide, like, I should show Tyler. And he was like, oh my God, she's so cute. We must apply. And I was like, you read? So then I literally texted you, we're applying. You're like, what? I'm like, we're here.
Again, after, you know, the thousands of dogs I've sent you over the years, randomly, you're like, okay, we're going to apply. I was like, huh?
So we applied, and we were sure that a ton of people were going to apply, which they did. But we got an interview the next morning. We had a virtual interview. Then we had a virtual home visit. Then we got approved, and we brought her home 4 days later.
And they said that there were so many people interested.
But we were like the perfect mix because they wanted someone who already had a dog that played well with others. Ruby, check. They wanted someone who worked from home. My husband works from home full time. I work from home a lot. They wanted someone, she's great with kids, but they were like, we don't necessarily think her going into a house with like a bunch of kids right now would be ideal with her health issues. We don't have kids yet.
Because she's still rehabbing that back leg.
She's still rehabbing her leg. And so
you guys got to put her in the bathtub.
She does a little PT. We put her in the bathtub, and she literally, Tyler just holds her middle section, and she like paddles. Because I guess when they're swimming, because she picks up her leg a lot now because she's not used to using it. But in the bath, instinctually, she has to use all of her legs. So it's causing her to use it and get more comfortable with it. And we have to make her eat on her hind legs sometimes.
Like holding her bowl up.
Like holding her bowl up or holding a treat up. So she like is used to holding her weight on her back legs. And we brought her home, and her name was Annie, which we weren't obsessed with. And we changed it very subtly to Franny.
Which is so cute.
So cute. And Ruby's obsessed with having a sister. I got very concerned because Fruby. That's their couple name. Because Ruby's like our little baby, and I was afraid she'd feel upset or jealous, and she has not experienced any of those feelings.
But you were going to name her something else.
I want to name her Luna.
Which is not her vibe at all, and also not sounding like the name that she had.
But to be fair, she was only Annie for 6 weeks. Like, she got the name Annie here when they brought her here. So even the lady who was her foster mom was like, you could change her name to like...
Well, I assumed that the people who had her and tossed her out of a car didn't give her a name.
Well, no, she was in a shelter in Oklahoma. She didn't have a name in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Anywho's, all's to say...
They're like, we love you so much, honey, but see you later.
We were joking this morning. Tyler was joking, and he was like, maybe she's a Democrat, and she actually jumped out of the car in Oklahoma. I got a good laugh out of that. I was dying.
She was like, this ain't for me.
She was like, I gotta get out of Oklahoma.
So yeah, cutest name ever, Franny. You did want to name her Luna for a hot second, which came after we'd been calling her Franny for a week.
A couple of days.
No.
It only took 4 days to get her.
No, it was over the weekend, like a
Friday to Tuesday. 5 days.
And no, I sent it to you on like a Wednesday. So anyway, we'd been calling her Franny, and I was like, that is just the cutest name ever. And so I had ordered her a little leash that said Franny, 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 like a bunch of her names down the leash. And then
where is it?
You told me you were naming her Luna, and so I had to contact the lady on Etsy to cancel. And I had to pay a $12 fee to cancel because it was already, quote, in production.
Wait, where is it?
Canceled.
Well,
and then the bitch gets the dog and she comes back and says, we decided on Franny. I was like, fuck it.
Oh my God, that sounds so cute. Could you send me the link?
No, you don't even deserve it.
I want it. You canceled my present?
Yeah, I did because I was about to give a dog named Luna a leash that said Franny.
Well, the funnier thing is, so when we were thinking about Luna, well, thank you for the thought, I should say. That sounds beautiful. And I wish we had it. And I'm not going to say I'm sorry because we were going through a journey of naming. It's the reason why you shouldn't buy baby presents before the baby's here.
No, I mean, we were all calling her Franny. You were like, her name is Franny.
I was pretty sure, but then I felt like Luna. But wait, the funny thing is, so we had a neighbor in our old condo who had a dog named Luna. And so I was like, oh, the only thing is like, I don't really want them to like think we named our dog Luna. Like,
how would they ever know?
Wait. So I'm like, that's weird. And Tyler's like, we're never going to see them again. Like, who cares? I'm like, you're totally right. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm open to Luna. Our friend, Gabby, sent a present to Franny, but sent it to our old address. So I get a text from our neighbor and he's like, hey, there's a package here for you. Do you want me to drop it off at your house? I'm like, oh my God, that's so nice. Because we moved like around the corner. He's like, I'm working, I can drop it off. I'm like, oh my God, that'd be so nice. I don't even get a chance to tell Tyler that this is happening because I'm at work. I get home and he's like, oh, Chris stopped by, dropped off a package, and I showed him Franny. I go, can you imagine how awkward it would have been if he had to pick up our dog and be like, this is Luna?
Oh
and
my
he would
gosh.
be like, what? Like, you named your dog Luna? Like, you lived next to us for over a year and we had a dog named Luna. Like, creepy.
Yeah, they would have been like, yeah, we're not seeing them again. I knew something was off about her specifically. It's in the eyes.
Like, literally, Tyler was like, I like held her up and was like, this is Franny. And then I reminded him we were going to name him Luna or her Luna. And he was like, oh my fucking God, that would have been so awkward.
So again, you were like, well, we think we're going to name her Luna now. And I was like, number one, that name sucks. Number two, Franny is such a cute name and really fits her personality and makes the transition easier because you're calling her by a name that she's been being called. None of that mattered to you. You were like, I'm sticking with Luna. And then I was like, okay, gotta cancel my gift.
God damn it. I really love that gift.
It's not coming.
Oh, you can't get another one.
No, because it was like a $56 leash that I then paid $12 more to cancel.
Well, could you email her back if it's already in production? Just say,
this was a week ago.
Just say, we're definitely getting it now. I'd like you to apply the $12 towards our present.
I said this was a gift for my friend who just rescued a sweet dog who'd been injured, trying to pull at the heartstrings.
And she didn't care.
And they were going to call her the name that was coming from her foster home, but decide on something else. Would it be okay if I cancel and switch the name? And she said, unfortunately, it's already in production. And I said,
then let me have it.
And I said, well, I need to cancel it because I don't have any dogs named Fran.
God damn it. This is really cute. Oh, this is upsetting.
And she was like, I can refund some of the money, but I do have to take off a fee for it being in processing. And I was like, oh my God, Jonna.
I really want it.
No.
You're allowed to change your mind.
Not when people are getting... Maybe you should be smarter about telling people the name that it's for sure going to be.
Oh, well, I'll take this into consideration moving forward.
Yeah, when you have children, you better really think.
I don't want anyone to think it's for sure. Like, I'm saying this here in a public forum. Like,
don't get you anything for names.
I'm too superstitious. Like, and not even like from that perspective, I wouldn't want... Like, you know how people like order shit and then like wrap the baby up in it like a swaddle that says their name?
Oh, yeah.
Anxiety. I don't like that.
What do you mean? Once they're born?
No, like you ordered it before. You had it in your house.
Oh, well, yeah. That's the whole thing with like, you know how... Is it just Jewish people who don't have baby showers, or is that other religions?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's mostly a Jewish thing, but maybe there are other religions. I'm not familiar with them all.
Well, like how non-Jewish people will have a baby shower before the baby's born and like get a bunch of gifts. That is like considered taboo in Jewish cultures because it's like
Cart before the horse.
Yeah, putting the cart before the horse. Like you are like celebrating something that's not here yet, and like
I don't like that.
And so, you know, and then you hear horror stories about people like getting stuff as gifts, especially like with the name on it, and then like, you know, something,
God forbid.
Yes, God forbid happens, and then you have like a room with stuff covered in like, you know, H for Hayden, and
yeah, I don't like it.
Horrible.
I actually always think about it when I see someone post like an Instagram like from the hospital. It's different when like they order it and it comes and they do it when they're at home. But like, you know, when like babies are in the little like hospital, what's that, like a hospital bassinet, like with the clear sides.
Oh,
what's that called? Is that a bassinet?
I don't know. Container.
Sure, the hospital container.
It's not a bassinet.
And it has like the wrapped swaddle that says like their name all over it. I'm like, chills. Like you had to order that before the baby was here.
Yeah, that's been sitting around for sure.
I don't like that.
I wouldn't get clothes. I would not get anything for Jack before he was born, except like you forced me to get that Jack stool.
Yeah, and that was Bashert,
which was like 5 days before he was born, but you kept it in your house.
I just don't think that like you should have personalized things. I am superstitious in all areas. Like obviously I'm an event planner, and sometimes clients will tip, which is really nice. And I know some event planners that will like look in the tip envelope before. The tip is not mine. I will not open the tip until the event is done.
I don't deserve this tip.
I didn't earn
after.
the tip. I can't look at it. I can't even like think about what's in it.
100%.
I wear the same, I'm like very superstitious across the board though. I wear like the same rings to anything that I'm nervous about. I have my great grandparents' wedding bands. And if I am wearing them, I'm anxious. Just like if you see them on my hands, I'm nervous.
I never notice what you're wearing, so.
Well, it's just because you never notice anything external. But like I'm too superstitious for that.
I'm horrible at that.
But
you'll be like, did you notice that so-and-so's got like that haircut? And I'm like, no.
How do you not notice is my question.
I don't notice weight gain, weight loss.
I don't understand how you don't notice those things. Like I'm not the most observant girl in the world, but like literally someone's hair will be red, formerly brown, and you're like, oh, I didn't notice.
Some rando's hair? No, I did not.
You're crazy. How was your break? What did you do with your time away?
My time away. Well, last we left off, we thought we would be just taking a week off because
1 week. Yes.
My sister-in-law was getting married.
Yes.
Which was great.
Beautiful wedding. A lot of fun.
The venue was beautiful, but a little choppy towards the wedding date because they obviously had an idea of how they wanted to do things, and those ideas, that way wasn't always aligning with the way that my sister-in-law wanted things to go. And so even you at the ceremony had to bite your tongue on some things.
Well, I just had to ask them if we could sit down. I thought it was strange that they didn't like encourage us to sit down. I was like,
people were just like lingering upstairs.
Yeah, like in the back. Like they didn't, like when you first got off the or we took the stairs, like when you first got off the stairs, it was like a small landing area and then like rows of chairs, obviously. And at first we weren't sitting, so I was like, oh, maybe like they're trying to get a room shot or like, but then like more people were coming up and I didn't see a photographer, so I was like, okay. And there's no one greeting guests, so I think people didn't want to be the first people. I could talk about the psychology of people at events for years, but people didn't want to be the first to sit down in the chairs, but like we were running out of space. So I walked over to this little hallway where there was someone standing and I was like, hi, is it okay if we sit down? She's like, oh yeah, definitely.
What's kind of funny is that the first, like, I can't remember, 4 or 6 rows were reserved for like, you know, family. How they always are, immediate family. And it was like one row each of bridal party. Then behind that was parents. And behind that was just like aunts, uncles, I think, was like the close
Yeah.
peeps. And the rest was sit where
Open.
you want.
Yeah.
And so then I think, and they did put reserved signs out, but like, I don't think people were looking at that. So random people were sitting in the first few rows.
Oh my God.
And I can't remember who noticed, but my brother-in-law, not the groom,
Your other brother.
my other brother-in-law had to go out there and like tell people not to sit there.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I didn't even see it.
And we were just talking about it in the back before the wedding actually started. Like we were like, if you get to a wedding, are you like, I'm going to saddle up here in the front? Like,
I want to sit in the like middle to back third.
yeah.
Like,
or
I'm not-
just like wherever's easy. Like I'll just follow the line and fill in wherever we're sitting. But like, I don't even know who they were, but random
That's insane.
people.
We're like, I should sit up here.
I assume on the groom side, you know, it's always the groom's family.
No, you know what it is? It's like people who like think it's a show. Like they're like, I want a good seat. It's like this is not a
This is not a
performance.
show.
This
Yeah.
is not a play.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't remember who noticed, but they were like, someone has to go tell them
Like move.
to GTFO. And Andre was like, okay. So he went out there and was probably like, I'm so sorry. But like, you know, we have these rows reserved just for like aunts and uncles and stuff, which is like so awkward. Then you have to get up and move.
Yeah, it's like, why am I
You have to answer.
like telling you that this is socially uncomfortable?
Not a fault of the venue, but just
No.
like there's weird things that are always going to pop up. And it was a beautiful day.
Stunning.
And it seemed like it was a beautiful day in spite of the pushback from the people who worked there, who wanted things to go their way. And we wanted things to go their way and also our way.
Well, I think what happens is a lot of places, like, I don't even know what to call it. Like, they're nervous, maybe. Like, they know what works in their venue. And so the idea of stepping outside of that is uncomfortable. Not to be, like, difficult, but, like, we want this to go as well as possible. And we've never tried it blank way. And so I think what comes across sometimes as, like, difficultness is just, like, nervousness. Like, we've never done it like that. And so it could work, but it could also fail miserably while we have 220 people here.
I'm okay if difficultness comes off as nervousness. This was difficultness that came off as bitchiness.
Well, again, I think that's a bedside manner thing. Like, there's 10 different ways to say no. None of them should be bitchy.
Yeah.
Like, you can be like, we don't feel comfortable because we want it to go great for you. These are the reasons we don't like that. But like, to clap back at your client is a bold move.
This is like a really extreme example, but it just kind of seemed like when you knew something wasn't going the right way, like the timing was off on something and you're like, okay, I'm looking at the schedule and we're not where we should be, or like a song that's supposed to start playing isn't playing, and then you go over and you say like, hey, can you go talk to blank and let them know? And they're like, oh, they know. And you're like, if they knew, then shouldn't the right thing be happening? You know, like,
yeah,
it's like you're on a plane that's crashing and the flight attendants are like, we're not crashing. We want you to enjoy the ride.
Would you like a Sprite?
And you're like, no, we are.
Yeah. No, it was a beautiful venue, and I think
not that we were on a crashing plane. We were on a amazing plane.
Sail.
Yes.
No, I think the difference is like that is a great resource. Like that sort of setup is a great resource for someone who doesn't want to think about the planning of their wedding. Do you know what I mean?
Not even, because they're not you.
No, I mean, who is? I'm just kidding. I mean, like, for someone who's like, I just want to do it the regular way and I don't want to have to like think about the intricacies of it, that's probably an amazing setup, because like they're just going to do their schedule and they know it fucking well. If you want to be super involved in the planning and the actual like breakdown of timing, which most of my brides do, but like, and your sister-in-law definitely wanted, I don't know if that's their game.
Yeah, I mean, would not recommend to a friend unless like the actual space was sold and someone else worked there, because the space was great. But barring any of that,
Beautiful day.
beautiful day. It was,
She looked
you know,
beautiful.
hot as Hades.
Yeah, I'm sure it was incredibly hot taking photos. As someone who got ready, got in the car, and then arrived, didn't matter.
You were really unaffected.
Well, actually, it was very humid.
What's interesting is that when we were taking pictures, I can't remember who said that my wedding day was extremely hot.
So hot.
And I was like, I don't remember it being hot.
Oh my God. Your wedding day was that hot.
Really?
Exceptionally hot.
Why didn't my hair get fucked up?
Well, I think when you're the bride, like everyone's like rightfully so treating you with like kid gloves. So I think we probably left you on the bus for a while or like
Left me on the bus?
like get off, take your pictures, get back on the bus. Like you're also a little like when it's your wedding day, like on cloud nine. So you're not like I felt the same way like on my own wedding day. It was like raining.
It wasn't hot.
No, but it was raining for a little.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh.
And like I was unaffected. Like
Maybe I'm not really aware of.
It was so hot on your wedding day. Your brother was really hot. I remember we were getting on the bus and the bus had been turned off for a little bit and they were just turning it back on when we got on because they made him like go to like a standing area. And so the air was like kicking on and your brother was like, does this bus have air conditioning? And I was like, yes. And he was like, oh my God. I was like, I promise you it has air conditioning.
Can you imagine if we got a vehicle that didn't have air conditioning?
I would never allow that to happen.
It was so hot on Lauren's wedding day that we were on like it wasn't a bus, it was a trolley. How do you know?
I saw a picture.
Oh. I was like, what?
I think you showed me a picture.
Of the trolley?
No, like of you guys on it. And it's very clearly a trolley.
That is something I would never notice.
It'd be in latitude the 100 of things that you would never notice. Okay.
But it was so hot that the air conditioning like unit that was on the ceiling of the bus started to leak. It was like working so hard. It was like, and water was just like kind of pouring down into the middle of the bus. Luckily, Lauren and Anthony were not on the bus at this time. They were taking pictures somewhere else. And we were just kind of like, well, let's not sit right there.
Yeah, don't tell them.
But it was very warm outside.
Painful.
Which is like the downside of getting married in the summer.
Yeah, the fall is the best. Or the winter and you just never leave wherever you are.
I wanted to get married in the winter, but we won't go into it.
COVID got you.
COVID.
I actually don't think you would have liked getting married in the winter as someone who's continuously cold.
I didn't want to get married outside.
I know, but just like, I don't know. I think it worked out the way it was supposed to.
That's a nice way for you to spin it, but
no,
thanks.
I do. You love the summer.
Yeah, I do, but I love the summer if I'm at a pool.
Well,
I don't love like, just, walking a million miles in the summer.
I hate being hot. Oh my God. So today I was driving. I know we like have stories to share with one another because we've not done this in forever, but I was driving here today. I'm doing a totally fine job driving. Like I'm not driving erratically.
Doing a fine driving job.
Like I'm being a really like mindful driver, but I'm on my phone, like on Bluetooth. So I'm talking very clearly to no one. I'm at this part of the road where like my lane ends. So I start to move over. This guy like zooms past me, like won't let me in. I have to get in. I'm like, okay, fine. Do you? Then I move to the left lane. He swings over and cuts me off. I'm like, did I offend you in some way? Then he swings back over and starts laying on his horn and roll down, like pointing for me to roll down my window. So I'm on the phone with my friend Emma and I'm like, hold on one second. So I roll down the window and he goes, get off your fucking phone and drive. Apparently he thought I was driving too slow or something. I looked at him. I go, what? And he goes, yeah, fuck you. And speeds away. And I honestly started laughing and I was like, do you think in the retelling of this story, like my goal in life is when I retell a story, I don't sound like a lunatic. Like, so he gets to his house and he's like, I was driving. This girl was talking on her Bluetooth, but I handled it. I rolled down the window and I screamed at her.
And then I sped off.
It's like, what did that do for your day? Like, I was laughing. Emma was like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't even know. He was so angry at me. I was like, you're having a bad day.
Yeah, like, okay, sir.
Do you need a 2-word check-in?
Also, talking on the phone is allowed. I don't know if you would know because I'm not sure that you have anyone who
to talk to.
Yeah.
But I was like so caught off guard because I mean, I'm not innocent. Like I do stupid shit sometimes. I'm like, both hands are on the wheel. I'm driving. Like, what is your problem? Caught me so off guard. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's actually happened to me in my neighborhood. Have I told you that story?
No.
So I was backing out of my driveway, and I have like I live on a street with a boulevard in the middle. So like one way is you can only go that way, and the other way you can only go that way. You know, divided by like a big thing of grass.
Grass, yeah.
And the side that my house is on, I like back out and go the wrong way down the boulevard for like 2 houses maybe, so I don't have to go around the whole neighborhood to get out of my neighborhood. And I have backed out of my driveway, and I'm driving
The wrong way.
the wrong way for
2 houses. No,
2
it is.
houses.
It's only 2.
And a man comes around the corner.
So angry, I'm sure.
Like, okay, at this point I'm already like just about, and he's like whipped around the corner, and then he sees me, speeds up so I can't like move
Get
to the
there.
other side of the street, you know.
Oh my God. Who
And then
hurt
he just
you, sir?
no, and then he just stops. So now I'm cornered there between
A rock and a hard place.
his car and the boulevard. Like I can't go
Move.
anywhere. Also, like we are in my neighborhood. Like we both live here, I
Like,
think.
are you my neighbor?
Yeah.
Like, what?
And he gets out of his car.
Assault.
It's like this really like sweaty, red, bald man
They always are.
who is Russian.
It's never a small, petite, like, lady
No.
coming from yoga. It's men who are this angry.
So he gets out and he goes, "What are you doing? You drive on wrong side of road." And I was like, what? And he was like, "You're on wrong side of road." And I go, "You're stopped in the middle of the street right now screaming at somebody. I don't think either of us is in the right."
What do you say?
He was like, "You are a danger to kids." I go, "I'm a danger to people?"
You're a danger.
And he was like, "Yeah, fuck you, fuck you." He gets back in his car, and then he like backs up a little to let me go because he wants to continue going, and I don't go.
Like, we're here.
I was like, "I will sit here, sir." And he like starts waving me. He's like, "Go, go." I'm like, "No." I literally sat there, flicked him off, and was just smiling and waving.
So you should definitely.
So then he had to like look like a huge idiot, back up even more to go around the other way of the neighborhood. And I was like, "Goodbye."
I'll see you later. See you at the HOA.
Like, you psychopath.
What a lunatic.
It's just like these people get so fired up. Like I have road rage in my car, but not to the point where I let the other person know. Unless like they do something fuck to me, and then like I'm not afraid of a light tap.
Okay, well, you should be. But I've never been that angry at someone that I don't know. Like, I can't get
Hitler.
All right. Hitler is the exception. If I saw Hitler driving by,
Yeah.
maybe I could get myself there.
The person who threw Franny out of a window.
Okay, 2 people, but like, I can't get myself there. Like, what is wrong in your world that you're able to get there? I'm confused.
That it's so like on the surface.
visceral. Like, you have to do something about it.
Yeah, I can get there in my car. Like if someone is driving like, 10
idiot.
miles under the speed limit in the far left lane. I'm like, what is this person doing? Everyone's trying to get around you. It's causing like a weird backup, and
Hazard.
it's extremely dangerous for all of us here.
Yep.
I'm angry, but I don't like roll down my window and say like fucking drive.
No,
I just
that's
like
insane.
speed past them.
Insane.
You have to really.
Hate your life.
Do you have an icebreaker for me?
I do have an icebreaker for
Oh,
you.
okay, good.
It's actually kind of funny because I had a different one, but this whole road rage thing, because I was reading a list of them. I have like a whole list of them, and
Oh.
there's one that kind of goes with the road rage. Would you rather be the passenger with a driver that you don't really trust,
Okay.
or have a constant backseat driver? Like, would you rather be the driver with someone who doesn't trust you, talking to you the entire way, being like, "Oh, do you see that? Do you see the stop sign?"
Oh my God, my mother-in-law.
Or be someone who like maybe you don't say something, but the whole time you're like, "Did they see that? Oh my God, are they gonna brake?" Like hitting the like dashboard.
I would much rather be option 1.
You'd rather be the driver.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, like I don't care. It's annoying to be a backseat driver to a certain extent, but like
I don't even like.
I like being in a car with someone whose driving skills you don't trust. My mom.
No, like I always want to drive. I don't care if I have 6 backseat
Like
drivers.
your life is on the line.
I love being the driver. The only people I don't want to drive with are you and my husband. But like,
You don't want to drive in with as a passenger?
no, like I want you guys to drive. Like I don't want to be the driver
Why?
because I feel calm enough. Like I trust your driving.
Oh, but you're fine to drive also.
Oh yeah,
I
I
thought you
like
meant
to
we were
drive.
backseat drivers.
No. But like I don't. You actually are a backseat driver if you think I need to take a different route. You're like, we could be driving.
That's not a backseat driver.
That's a navigator.
That's a navigator.
But
That's
like,
someone who's trying to get us where we need to
But
go.
sometimes it's like not a route. Like sometimes it's like, okay, go up on the sidewalk. And if you just go 6 blocks on the sidewalk and then you cut through this alley and go on the underground parking garage, you'll actually end up where we need to go. And I'm like, okay, but those aren't roads. Yes.
Okay, but to my defense, that is how I shave off like 40 minutes getting to the city every fucking time.
You do. It just is stressful.
One time, me and my friend Brooke were driving to Mizzou and a bridge was closed. And I don't know, there must be like one fucking bridge to get there. And so it was rerouting us. And I was like, I'm looking on the map. Like I'm looking at like Google like images.
You're like, if we just get on this boat.
Literally. And I was like, I don't know why we have to go. Cause it was like a 40-minute reroute.
Delay.
And I was like, I don't know why we have to go all the way there when like it looks like there's a little path through here. And it was a cornfield that like tractors could drive on.
Did you take it?
And I was like, we must be able to get through this way. And so like we did start driving through the cornfield until the stalks were too tall.
Oh my God.
And she was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Scared.
She was like, I think we should turn around. And I was like, I don't even know. It's like you'd have to back out, you know, or else like drive over the corn.
Yeah.
It's like a one-way situation. And she was like, why are we here? We're in a cornfield. And I was like, okay, you're panicking.
I can relate. Like there have been times where you're like, you're just gonna drive down this alley for like 19 blocks, and halfway through I'm like, I'm scared. Like
But then we get there.
we do. Like I trust you implicitly, but I'm nervous.
Oh my God. When I was driving in the city with my mother-in-law a couple weeks ago, I was going to go right on red, you know, like onto a one-way, but there was a sign that said no right on red. But we were in a little bit of a hurry and it was like from a one-way to a one-way. I don't know why. I don't know why we wouldn't be able to turn right on red. It's just a dumb rule. And so I turn right on red and she goes, oh my God, Rachel. I go, what? She goes, the police. I go, the police? Like I'm looking around like, what police? And she's like, just like you could get a ticket for that. I go, what the fuck?
What police?
What kind of thing is that to say? The police?
That's hilarious. Yeah. No, it kills me. The risks you will take behind the wheel. They're unending.
That's my answer.
Yeah, that's my answer too.
So,
But I feel like your mom, sorry to cut you off, would rather no matter what, she would drive with Elmo to not have to drive.
yeah.
Like
she's
she would be like,
she's like, you're 109 and you can't see.
I'll drive.
But
You-
you're
I mean,
still
you drive-
on the but you're still on the road.
You have a license?
I'm happy to sit shotgun.
Totally.
She's so checked out. She's got her like
Book on tape.
yeah, she's got her AirPods in, listening to something. Eyes are closed. She could be like on a ferry.
No, Jack could drive her somewhere.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, that's fine.
Off we go. Yeah. Okay, well, I do have some interesting stories. I don't think we were going to have time because this is going to be an extremely long episode as is.
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. But here's an interesting thing. So to pivot a little, obviously we weren't recording when the Georgia school shooting happened.
Yeah. Ugh.
So disgusting.
Terrible.
But now some news is coming out about holding parents responsible. Have you seen anything about
I
this?
have, yeah.
Yes. So basically last week, prosecutors did arrest the father of the 14-year-old high school
Student.
shooter.
Yeah.
And they're charging him, the father, with cruelty to children, manslaughter, and murder, which rightfully so.
He should be.
And he gave his son access to
Didn't he give him a gift
the
of one?
firearm. Yes.
Like, you're fucking nuts, dude.
Interestingly, it says he gifted this to him despite knowing he was a, quote, threat to himself and others, according to the arrest warrant. In May of 2023, the FBI investigated the school shooter after receiving a tip that he had made online threats to attack a school. So this was a little over a year ago.
Wow.
They investigated him.
Nothing came of it.
Nothing came of it. And the father said that he didn't have unlimited access to firearms at home. Like, it was like...
In May, he said that.
Yes.
He's like, but let me fix that.
No, really. And then, law enforcement has also said that on Christmas, the father gifted his son the semi-automatic AR-15 that was used in last week's shooting, killing 4 people and injuring 9 others. The suspect's mother, who has not been charged, contacted the high school the morning of the shooting to warn them about a, quote, extreme emergency after receiving cryptic texts from her son.
How about the police?
Well,
What is the school going to do?
maybe she just didn't know who to call, but at least she did something.
Yeah.
Maybe it prevented one other person from dying because they had a tip. I don't know. But now, you know.
The police! She should have called the police.
But he's going to this, like, he's at the school right now. Someone pull him out of class.
But what is the secretary going to do? That's who
Pull him
receives
out
the
of
messages.
class.
Oh,
The police aren't at the school.
he's like, I was going to shoot up the school today, but then Mrs. Miller came and got me, so another day.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, the whole
I don't
thing
know
makes
if
me
that's
sick.
the wrong thing to do. You think so?
I do. I feel like you should call the police.
Because you're like, you know, the police.
I just feel like what is the school going to do?
At least, like, detain him until the police get there.
Detain him? They have no right to detain him.
It's
Quite literally bringing a knife to a gunfight.
No, they do have a right to. They can hold him in the principal's office.
Yes, but this is not like little Johnny Smith. This is a kid with an AR-15.
Currently on him?
I'm assuming.
Who knows?
We're making a lot of
So,
assumptions here.
Anyway, prosecutors are obviously now starting to look at parental accountability.
100%.
This has kind of been going on with the Highland Park shooter.
Yep.
His father being charged. And it makes sense. I don't know why it's not the norm.
There's a difference between your child doing something that, like, there's no possible way you could have known, and your child doing something with the gun you gave them. Like, I don't think every time there's a school shooter or a violent crime that a kid perpetrates that the parents are accountable, because you can't be with your kid 24/7. You can't see everything. Okay, fine. No one should be gifting a 14-year-old kid a gun, period.
I mean, yeah.
Like, even a model student should not own their own gun at 14. And beyond that, if your kid is being investigated by the FBI and you're still purchasing them a firearm, you deserve to be run over. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you must be out of your fucking
like
mind.
out of your, like, it's not like this is like a gray area. Like, these people knew their child was a threat, knew he was making threats, and then gave him the gun that he killed people with.
Yeah, like, you deserve to have your kid shoot you in the head
Like,
with the gun that you gifted them.
Bye.
No, I totally agree. And I also think that, like, I don't know. I understand hunting.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you need that kind of gun, right?
Like, it's a thing. I understand that hunting exists. I actually don't know anything about hunting guns.
But, like, isn't that the argument for why people would need an AR?
I don't know.
Semi-automatic, something or other?
Maybe. I don't know for sure.
But I do think, actually, I was talking about this with an uncle who is, like, super conservative. Fine. He, like, very pro-gun. He has a, like, very large safe of guns in his home, which you're
Familiar with. I grew up with
with?
guns. Yeah.
And he was like, I understand. Like, I don't want gun rights to be taken away. no one needs a semi-automatic in their home. Like, that's not a gun you need to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That just is not, and it's not something that you should be able to access easily. Like, if you want it for hunting, then like just rent it out. Like, you have to rent a boat if you want to go out on the water and you don't own one. Like, if you want to go to a shooting range, you should be able to rent one there. Like, it's not something that you need to be able to own. And I was like, good point.
It is an excellent point, but it really does. Like, I don't think there's this big push about semi-automatic weapons. The truth is, there are ways that people can manipulate firearms to be semi-automatic, I believe. Like, the vessel itself is not the big argument. It really is like, these people, there's too much access to guns, period.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what the answer is. I'm not saying that guns need to be taken away from people who want them to protect themselves. As someone who was raised with guns, I just don't see parents doing their due diligence if you were going to be a parent who has a gun in your home. Like, it was very fucking clear to me growing up that the guns were not to be played with. My mom actually made me kind of a freak because I wasn't allowed to ever point any sort of gun at anyone. Like, because I think when I was a little kid,
like a squirt gun.
Like, she realized that at a certain age I couldn't differentiate between like a squirt gun and like a BB gun and a real gun. And so we were not allowed to have guns in our house, period. Like, everyone else had like water guns. I wasn't allowed to have them. And my mom was like, guns don't get pointed at people. That's baseline.
Right.
Now you're buying your kid a gun. Like,
yeah, we don't need to teach them like a million different rules of gun safety when they're 3. Just like,
you do not pick up a gun and you do not point it at people.
you never touch one ever.
You never touch one ever. And there has to be a consequence that's very scary for that child.
And the consequence, you hope, isn't that they blow their own brains out.
1,000%. And that's what, like, people forget that the consequence of your kid playing with a gun is so much greater than whatever consequence you're going to give them.
And like, again, I understand like the right to bear arms. I understand that like people should have the ability to protect themselves.
Totally.
In a way that they want to or feel that they need to. Like, if I wanted to protect myself with a samurai sword at home and I was like, I'm an expert with samurai.
I'm going to buy this.
I'm actually a ninja.
Surprise.
And I could just slice the shit out of anybody who comes near me.
Yep.
And it was banned. I would be like, what do you care if I have this at home and I'm not using it out there anywhere? Like, that's just a small little example, but like, I do understand that people want to be able to have the ability to protect themselves in the way that they want.
But
it goes so like, there's not enough legislation though that makes it just so that you can do that.
Do you remember though, like when you were in middle school, if like you guys did like as a class, you misbehaved so many times and then they'd be like, okay, no recess. Like, did that happen to you ever? Or like, we're going to be silent now?
Oh.
Like, as a collective, we don't deserve nice things right now. So unfortunately, we've got to put a lock on the guns.
Yes.
Like, that's where I think we're at. Like, we can revisit them, but like, we clearly cannot handle the right to bear arms because of what's going on in this country with gun violence. So we've got to lock it up and start over.
And I also think like they're always like, well, you should have to pass like some sort of a mental health test and whatever. That's, I mean, yes, of course.
Absolutely.
But that's just like, we're looking past even like, you have to be able to pass an IQ test. Like, this man, perhaps he would have passed, the father would have passed a mental health test, but he's not smart enough to know that he shouldn't give his son with mental health issues an AR for Christmas.
But beyond that,
like, I'm sorry, you're an idiot and idiots shouldn't have guns.
And mental health.
Is that too far of a rule?
And mental health fluctuates. If you're well enough to buy a gun in 2016, it doesn't mean you're going to be that well in 2024.
Also true.
Like, a lot of
shit. But stupidity is forever.
It's forever. Like, a lot of shit can happen. Like, people, it's just, we can't have nice things and we can't have guns.
So yeah, just for gun legislators out there, mental health fluctuates, but stupidity is forever.
Remember that.
And you should think about that when you're thinking about the idiots that you know that own guns.
Oh my God. I can't think about it. Troubling.
So yeah, that's just an interesting, it kind of made me think about how, you know, like when when we were in high school, a lot of those laws were coming down about parents getting
in trouble for drinking.
Yes, parents getting
I remember
like
all that,
legally held responsible for if you have an underage party,
which I also stand for.
Yes, if high school students or I guess college age who are under 21 are drinking under your roof, even if you supply the alcohol or not, they were starting to crack down on it and holding parents responsible. And like it just seemed like that happened so quickly. Like it was like, I mean, it's not quick for the people who
served time,
yes, but like they hosted a party and they were like, yeah, I'm cool if you drink as long as you drink here. And then someone leaves the party and gets in a car accident and you go to prison.
Whoops.
Then you're like, okay, I'm not so cool if you drink here. But like that is the same exact thing, is it not?
Yeah, no, I mean, you are, as a parent and as an adult, you are responsible for the kids that are in your care. And so accidents happen, but when you are willfully and purposefully giving them the resources to harm themselves and other people, you are responsible. Like that just is what it is.
100%.
It's like I even hit an age, like we're 32. I'm too old to be buying underage people liquor. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I have a younger sister-in-law. I'm sure she drinks. She ain't getting it for me.
You wouldn't buy for her?
No.
Oh, you're weird.
I'm too old. Like it's
what?
Like I think 5 years is the gap.
If she was like, can you grab me some vodka while you're out that I can bring to this party?
No.
Oh my God, something's wrong with you.
For every reason we just talked about.
You're a narc.
No, I'm not a narc. Go with God. I hope you're having a great time. I loved college. Drink to your heart's content. But I am too, like, my frontal lobe is too fully developed to be purchasing the alcohol.
Your frontal lobe is a frontal narc.
No, it's not a narc. I'm not telling anyone. But I buy her the vodka. She brings it to her friends. Someone gets in a car accident. And it's like, where'd you get that? Hi.
But that could be with anything.
What other thing that I would be
They're
buying?
going to get alcohol.
Yes, but not for... That's exactly it. Just not for me.
Ugh.
You would? How is that different than you buying it for your kid?
Well, one, because I'm not a parent of a college age child.
Okay.
So it's not like condoning it in a parental sense. It's more of like a sibling sense. And two, if Haley was like, hey, can you grab a fifth for me while you're at Target? I'd be like, absolutely.
You're nuts. Have you finished Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
I have not. How many episodes is it?
8.
Oh, no, not even close. I'm on episode like 4.
Oh my God.
Are you
finished?
done?
Yeah. It's so good.
Okay.
Like, maybe the best reality show I've seen in the last 5 years.
Well, you don't watch any reality shows.
I watch so much reality. Maybe I don't actually.
No, you don't.
You're right. Huh. Well, anyways, it's amazing. I'm obsessed. Whitney is out of her fucking mind.
Well, don't go into too much detail.
I won't, but that's like everywhere on TikTok. Like the world is coming for her.
Oh, really?
Everywhere.
The world hates Whitney?
The world hates Whitney.
Oh.
And Whitney responded to it and was like, that's not how I remember it. And then like they're engaging in drama in the comments. Like it's great to catch a reality show at this point because they're still normal enough that they're fighting in the comments. You know, like when they get a little bit more press training and a little more brand behind them, they won't do that. But they're still messy.
Yeah.
Because they're like young. They're not really famous.
It's like early Vanderpump.
It's early
rules.
Vanderpump. Like they're like in it. And like they're commenting and like trashing each other and going on podcasts. It's like, it's gold. And it really has taught me a lot about Mormon culture. I want to go to Utah for a weekend and go to a soda shop. Our friend Gabby said she'd go with me.
Oh, good.
Do you want to come?
It's not on my like, immediate list of trips I'd want to take.
How fun. Just like a girls trip to Utah. I'll plan it.
I don't remember committing.
Please? We could go for our birthday.
For our birthdays to Utah?
Yeah.
Neither of us do snow sports.
No, I know. We don't need to do the snow sports. We'll go to a soda shop. Swig.
Okay. I'll think about it.
Well, for anyone who is not even on episode 1, I don't know if you caught all of the Mormon mom drama in the last couple of years, but there was this large group of women that were all posting together videos, content, crossover. And then a scandal rocked it when Taylor, Frankie Paul, admitted that some of them, she still to this day has not named names, were swinging, which by swinging just meant they were like all hooking up in the same room with each other's husbands. It was very incestual and weird. It rocked the group. And the show picks up post swinging scandal, but right before Taylor Frankie Paul gets arrested for domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like in the sweet spot of that drama, if like you were watching it unfold, you now get a little bit of a backstage look at it. And I gotta say, I fell in love with a lot of these gals. They're like very real, normal, like people. Like, I don't know why on TikTok they seemed like very Mormon mommy blogger, but like they seem very normal.
I mean, Mormon mommy blogger and normal, I don't think
Go together?
go in the same sentence, really.
They're kind of like they're like the
Mormon 2.0, Lisa Barlow.
Yes. Oh, Lisa Barlow. Love Lisa Barlow. I love Salt Lake City. I love Mormon content.
You and Gabby.
We do. We love it. But like they're very much like we want to take down the patriarchy, like women should be independent. There's one girl on there who like is in a very traditional, what I consider controlling Mormon relationship. And so it's like interesting to see the other girls be so anti that relationship, because I think that's like a no-no in the church. Like, you listen to your husband.
Yeah.
But I was like captivated.
All right, I'm gonna finish.
You
Hopefully,
have to.
yeah. I think I'll try by the next time.
So much to discuss with you.
Okay, by next time we record, I'll finish.
I know, and it's interesting because when you and I talked, you were like, I kind of like Whitney, and I did at that point too. But
It gets worse.
Things happen.
Okay.
So yeah, I wish I had more to watch. And it's like so sad when you finish a show like that.
I think you should start telling me lies.
Oh right. Okay, good. I'll start that.
Should we do a quick daily dilemma?
I would love one.
Okay. I thought of you right when I saw this.
Ooh, I love these.
It kind of goes along with like the parenting of our generation and also, well, you'll hear.
Okay.
So this person talks about setting boundaries for your children.
Okay.
And like being able to read their cues when others can't. So she says basically that her friend came over who doesn't know her kid that well, like sees him probably occasionally. And they were playing on the floor, like building blocks, whatever. And the friend started tickling her son.
Okay.
And he was like giggling, but also like kind of pushing her away.
Okay.
And the mom is like, I didn't say anything because like I didn't know what to say in the moment, but I could tell like he was like laughing but uncomfortable. The son, I think it's important to notice too.
Okay.
So like he's not going to be like, excuse me, I don't want to be tickled.
This.
Yeah, but like
tickling is an annoying thing.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be tickled either at like 30. What the fuck?
Do 2-year-olds want to be tickled?
They do. Kids love it.
Really? Okay.
I mean, not by like, a homeless person.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
But
I guess I do kind of tickle Jack sometimes. I wonder if it makes him uncomfortable.
It doesn't.
Okay,
but wait. Can I get through it?
Sorry, go ahead.
So she's like, I didn't say anything, but like I could tell that he was like, laughing, but also uncomfortable. So then like the friend is getting ready to leave, whatever. And they're walking her to the door and she's like, okay, say goodbye to whoever. Carrie. And he's like, kind of standing by. The kid is standing by his mom, like holding her leg. And Carrie, the friend, is like, can I have a hug? Let's call him Xander.
Oh.
She's like, can I have a hug, Xander? And Xander's like, hiding behind his mom's leg. And she's like, you're not going to give me a hug? That makes me really sad. And the mom is like, at this point, she's like, I know he doesn't feel comfortable giving her a hug because like he doesn't
stranger.
Know her that well. And I don't want to make him. And she's like, just give me one little hug. And so she like comes over to hug him. And the mom stepped in and was like, it's okay. Like he doesn't have to give a hug. And the friend was like, ouch. And she was like, it made this like really awkward interaction. And so the mom was like, am I in the wrong? Like, she obviously was not harming him in any way, but I do want to respect that he doesn't, like, he shouldn't have to do something he doesn't feel comfortable doing.
1,000%.
1,000% in the wrong?
No, 1,000% in the right.
That she should step in and say,
like, I think it's wrong to teach your children, in my opinion, since we're asking, your children need to feel like their body is completely under their purview in that sense. Like, not that like your 17-year-old can like, you know, go get a back tattoo without checking in with you, but like they need to feel like control over their own feelings and like gut intuitions. And not that I think that this Carrie lady is like an evil lady, but like I think I'm going to want to instill in our children that like if you don't feel comfortable with someone, you should listen to that.
But sometimes like with 2-year-olds specifically, like what if it was with like your mom? Like your 2-year-old didn't want to give grandma a hug.
That's okay. You can't be mean to grandma. Like, you can't kick her. You can't scream at her. You can't like be disrespectful. But if you're not in the mood to give a hug, like it's your body and you can say no.
I do kind of agree with that. But like we come from a generation of our parents being like, you remember weird Uncle Frank who we've met one time? Why don't you go over there and sit on his lap? And you were like, oh my God, I don't want to sit on his lap. He smells like smoke and like whiskey.
Nope. No.
And you're like, ugh. And they're like, go on, go give Frank a hug. And you're like, no, he has bad breath. But like you had to.
I did not have to.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Your mom didn't make you?
Never.
Oh, well, just me then.
No, I think it's normal, but my mom was very much like this because my mom, like the law enforcement background is very much like,
people are creepier than you think.
And fear. My mom's big thing is like fear is important. And so she was always like, and like she would come up with like an alternative. Like she'd be like, oh, do you want to give them a high five? Like, which I think I would do. Like if my kid doesn't want to hug someone, that's totally fine. Do you want to give them a high five? Do you want to like.
I just think when they're this little, it's like so hard to say whether like they're just being a little asshole or they really do feel uncomfortable. Like when they're 7 and they're like, no, thank you. It's like, okay, something doesn't feel right to them. But like when they're 2, I don't want to make them give a hug, but like, what else do you do? Like stepping, that feels like an overreaction to step in and be like, that's okay. Like,
well, I think you just need to say like, I think especially at 2 when they can't verbalize, they need to know that you aren't going to make them do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't make him give a hug. Like if this were me, I'd be like, okay, not in a hugging mood. I'm going to give a hug. And then
like a perfect example is you could totally do that. My friend, her daughter is not my biggest fan. Not that she doesn't like me. I don't make a difference in her day. Like she doesn't know me that well.
Right.
I see her in passing. Like she's like totally fine around me. But like a couple of times before I realized that like she's very much in her like stranger danger phase, I would be like, hi, how are you? Can I have a hug? And she would be like, no. And I was like, okay. And my friend was like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like really shy. I'm like, you don't need to apologize. Like it's good that she's saying that. She doesn't know me. She doesn't want to give me a hug. I'm not offended by that. I also know that I don't see her that much.
Yeah, I think like the tickling thing, I don't think I would step in on the tickling thing. Like if they really don't want to be tickled, then like you can get up and run away. Like you have legs.
You have legs.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not just like, and he looked like he was pulling away, but he was giggling. Like, okay, you're too in tune.
Well, that's too much.
Get a grip.
Yeah. But I do think that like if your kid doesn't want to give a hug, you can't make them and you shouldn't make them. But there's a difference, like, if they aren't giving a hug to be an asshole.
Right.
Like, then, okay, like, if, let's say we were at my mom's with our kid, and my mom had told the kid no a couple of times, and then it's, like, time to leave, and they're throwing a tantrum, and by throwing the tantrum, they're like, I won't give you a hug. Then I would say, like, okay, that's okay, then we're gonna leave right now. Like, you're using your...
So grandma gets punished?
And the kid. Like, you're, like, we're leaving. Like, we're not gonna sit here and let you be a dick.
Right.
But, like, if a stranger to them is like, can I give you a hug? And they don't want it, I'm going to be like, that's okay.
I do think, though, like, what if it was, like, to your husband?
Our own child?
Yeah.
I can't, like, that's probably them throwing a tantrum.
But I just mean in that scenario, like, let's say they're mad at him because he took the ice cream away before they finished, but they were flinging the spoon. So ice cream is going all over the kitchen. And then you get up, you're like, okay, we're going to go take a bath. And then they're still mad at Tyler.
Yeah.
After the bath, they put on their pajamas and he comes in to do a story. And they're like, no, I don't want a story. I want you to do my story. Like, I'm mad at daddy, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, well, can you give him a hug and say sorry about the ice cream? And they're like, no.
Can you say sorry about the ice cream? Like, I won't make you give him a hug, but like...
I feel like I'd be like, give your dad a hug, you piece of shit. You flung ice cream everywhere.
I think I would be like, okay, you don't want to give him a hug, so what are you going to do to say you're sorry? Do you want to say sorry? Do you want to write him a letter? Like, you're fucking saying sorry.
But if Tyler was like, can I have a hug? That would make me feel better. And they were like, no.
I mean, they're a little asshole.
Then you'd be like, hug your dad.
No, yes, but I'd also be like, we're not doing a story. Like, okay, dad does a story or no one does the story. Like, this isn't like pick your parent night.
Yeah. That
would not fly. I don't know because I was raised in a single household. So like it was mom or bust. I mean, my grandparents were there, but like I don't think I'm going to like do that. Like which one of us? Like, no, we have shit to do. This is the one who's doing it.
Yes.
Like, can you imagine like Mike does bedtime a lot and like you're cleaning up dinner, you're getting Jack's dinner, like that's the routine, like that works for you guys. If Jack got to a certain point where he was like, no, mommy do it, would you be like, okay?
No.
Yeah, like, no, this is our routine, this is what works for our family.
Yeah, like some things you have to push your kids because like that's the way of the world.
Yep.
And some things, like if it makes them uncomfortable for a certain reason, you have to listen to that.
Yes, uncomfortable is very different from don't like.
But like in a situation where it's like that's their dad and they're just like mad and don't want to give a hug, like isn't that the same? They should be in control of their body.
Yeah, I don't think I would force the hug. I don't. I think I would be like, okay, well then we're done now. Good night. If like sometimes Jack's in a mood, like I know he loves me, but like he's a baby and sometimes he doesn't want me to like grab his hand.
I think he's and he'll do that to me. Yeah. Like it's not like when he like rips his hand away because like he wants to run ahead. I'm not like, give me your hand, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm like, you have your own
You have opinions
agenda.
And autonomy.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But like,
does it hurt my feelings when he runs toward Tyler and pretends I'm not there? Yeah. Do I say anything?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
To him?
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, I think like, again, at an age like 2 where like it's so... I don't want to make them do something that like makes them uncomfortable because you can't talk about it at all, you know,
totally.
like, but like, so you just say, oh, he's not in a mood to give a hug right now, but I'll give you a hug and like just transition.
Move it on.
Yeah. Move it the fuck on. But like, if they're 7 and they're like, no, thank you. Then it's just like, okay, well, they said no, thank you. What the fuck else do you need?
You heard him, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's, not to get on my feminist shit, but like I also think it's really important to do to girls too, like specifically women. Like they're so like used to just going with the flow to not rock the boat, and I would not want my daughter to like feel like she has to hug someone. I mean my son either, but like my daughter specifically, like no, we're good.
I don't know if it's gendered like that for me, but I'll noodle on it.
Yeah, think on it. That was a good one. Oh, wow. I'm so glad we're back in the swing of things. It's like starting school again. Like I was like, how will we record today? We're busy girls. But now once you do it, it feels good.
We're here.
Tell a friend about us. We're back.
Tell a friend, call a friend, and I'll call you later.
Call you later.
Love ya.
Love you. Bye.